I was thinking we could have.
We never made a final because we want to.
Did you make that? You make that cover about it?
It comes that way at the store. I've been lugging that one back and forth here for a while. It's going to usually be used.
Okay.
All right, you want to call order? Call order.
Would you do our own inverter, Jim?
I'd be honored to do that. Thank you very much.
Most gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we don't want to come to you with just words. We want to come to you humbly and ask that you be with us, be right here. Bless this meeting, give them wisdom what they're supposed to do. In the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
I will go flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we're down to number 4 on the agenda, and that's read and approve December 2013 meeting minutes. I think everybody's got a copy of that, so read away and let me know if you got any comments or issues. You'll get done, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes. I hear a motion. Got a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. All right, number 5, review and discuss any voter registration card. I think Jackie and Mike done that.
There was 19.
19. Do we have any felons or anything this time?
No, ma'am.
What about that one? Did he ever get back to you?
Okay. Anything else on that? All right, number 6, report from Dorinda.
Okay. Enclosed, everybody has a copy of what petitions so far have been issued over August and May. There's the petition date of when they were issued, and then the next date is the file date. That's when they come back in. And this is what we've gotten so far. On the May primary, the ones that are handwritten in, those have been a duplicate certified petition from Rutherford County.
What, I missed that. What did you say?
These are duplicate certified petitions that are from Rutherford County, the ones that are handwritten on May.
Okay. But they've taken out petitions here too.
No, ma'am, what they have to do is, because they're registered in Rutherford County, they have to get their signatures there, get it approved, qualified there, and then they have to send a certified copy to our office.
So these are the only ones that turn them back in?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So that's what we have so far on the 2 elections that we got going on.
Does anybody want to know?
But they got till April, right?
Yeah.
February 20th.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's
At
not a
noon.
deadline.
And the only ones that's got till April the 3rd is school board.
Right. But that is posted on the website too as well.
They gotta give out that website address too for everybody so they would know it. You know, just make our guests aware of our website.
CannonCountyElections.com.
Facebook too.
We do have a Facebook. And everybody that's picking up, pretty much all of them have their pictures are posted on there. And it's being put on there who has turned in, who's got qualified.
Does the website have a traffic counter? Kind of give us an idea of who all visited, the number of folks that visited?
guy that put it together can tell us. Last month, y'all asked me to run the, this meeting in the paper. I just made a copy of it to let y'all know that that particular size was $30.
One thing that bothered me about that, they forgot the time
And the location, but yes.
and the location, so
Yeah.
really they ought to give us a little bit of discount on that.
Did
so
they
put a half.
fail to do it, or was it
15.
us?
That's it.
Did we give them the
Oh, no, I
time and
haven't see,
location?
I'm pretty sure I put the time. But that size is $30.
Well, that's adequate size, I
I think
believe.
that's a perfect size.
Right. You could actually shrink the font of the election commission and put that other additional information.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think they have their sizes though, and,
Probably do, but
yeah.
probably wouldn't hurt to get the time and the place.
Yeah.
Oh,
This
yeah,
size
we
is
need
okay.
that.
I like the size.
Right, so when y'all make a decision on that, when y'all get to that, because y'all were supposed to bring that up if y'all wanted it to be one like that.
Okay, let's do, y'all care if we talk about that right now?
Um,
Anybody got any objections to that? I hear a motion.
I make a motion.
Like the motion.
Not that is that size sufficient.
All right,
Provided
Jackie,
it contains all the required information.
Jackie's made a motion that we run this size and we run this monthly, is that correct? Okay,
I'll second it.
all right, Matt, second.
What did you do?
I'll let you catch up, so.
Yeah, be good, here it is. Okay. Jackie made the motion and Matt seconded.
Run this size and run it monthly. That'll cost us what?
That's not bad, 360 a
Yeah,
year.
360 a year. It's not too bad. Matt seconded.
All right.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so carried.
All right, I also included what we have used in the past for a poll worker application. At one time, we ran an ad in the paper asking for past workers, new workers, and that kind of stuff. And the ones that was interested, we sent this to them so we would have information if they could, perform the job. So I was wanting to check to see if this is something that y'all want to do again.
Really, it was my belief this was also available on the website they could print out.
It's supposed to be, yes, sir. Mhm.
So basically, you're asking if we want
Changes to
this
it.
to be the official form that we use.
No, I actually want to know if you want to run an ad in the paper looking for workers.
Oh, okay.
And us use this for me to send to them to get that,
That's gonna be a pretty big ad to get all that.
now, I
no,
wasn't gonna
that's
put
all.
this in there,
No, she's going,
Can we incorporate it in the meeting notice
possibly.
and possibly fit it into what we're already going to be posting?
Might have to put smaller
well, would that,
That would still meet the open records requirement.
that was my next question.
Right. But it will also give additional information to those interested in
I
coming
can make
forward.
that towards the bottom, but I just, we did get a good response the last time from past workers and new ones.
I think we definitely need to run it.
Yes,
Well,
Now, do we just need to run it how many times? If you incorporate it in that,
that's what I need to.
or do you want to run more than once? I think we ought to run it more than once, a couple
We
of
do have
times.
3 elections this year. May may be small, so we're not gonna need that many workers. Where August is gonna be big, where we're gonna need workers.
I'll tell you what, when you get your responses back, ask them that question. Do you want to do, are you interested in doing a May, August, and November? Or are you just interested in May and August, or whatever you want to
You
say?
could have marked that, you might add that to your application, and let them mark that.
You may have to, since we're going to run it twice, run it separate.
Yeah, I think we probably need to run it separate. I make a motion that we advertise for election workers and we run it separately for 2 weeks in the Courier. Should we do anything with the radio?
Well, I was fixing to say, if you
I
send
think
that,
I'll
I
send
think
it
we
to
should
Keith.
do it on the radio
Keith
too,
will
and
put it
we
in
might
the
have,
website too.
no,
It's not free.
I mean, we should, by all rights, pay the radio if we pay the Courier.
Yes, but he will put it on WRY website free as well.
Okay. But we
I'll
should
ask him.
pay something for him to do it.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. All right, so what's your motion?
That we advertise for election workers on the 2 weeks in the county Courier and also place on the radio.
Do you have a second for that?
Clarification, are they going to be 2 weeks back to back? We're going to stagger them, or what kind of time?
And when are we gonna do it? Because, I mean, are you gonna do it next week, or are we gonna do it like a month before the election.
We should
No,
probably.
it's gonna be before that.
We gotta do it pretty quick.
Yes.
Okay, so we need
Why
to,
not
It's gotta
go
be
out-
done
why not
pretty-
go out pretty quick, and the
Yeah.
next one we can kind of.
Do I do it a week apart or
yeah,
what?
do it.
Yeah.
See, I've got March meeting, you gotta appoint the poll work, or the workers.
Yeah, so we gotta do it pretty quick.
It needs to be ready.
Let's leave a week
In
and then
between.
run it the next week, okay?
So the last week of this month, run it. Okay, and then one week in February.
Yes.
Skip a week.
All right, I'm not gonna say that motion again because I don't have to know it.
Stop.
So-
Okay.
Can I read?
So we got a second?
Well, I ain't got it written down, but
So we're
yeah, I
clear on
can't
what we're
read
voting
and
on.
talk. I mean, can't write.
So it'll be last week of this month, would be the first one.
Last of January and second week in February, is that what we're doing?
That's I just put 1 week in February, so that's
Okay,
probably.
we'll put second week of February.
Okay,
All right, that's your motion.
That's
Are
my
you gonna
motion.
read it? Or we-
I just made a motion to advertise for poll workers in the county clear and the radio to be run the last week of January and the second week of February.
Okay, got a second?
Second.
All right, Mike, second. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? So carried.
and if anybody got a problem with me using this application, when somebody calls in, then I can mail this to them.
Yeah, well, somebody wants you to put on there that they want to work all 3 elections, but they, you know,
I mean, that's something you can ask them, or you can put.
You can just ask them
Either
that.
one's fine with me.
and
As long
it
as they're
could
clear.
be possible if they were one of them and they didn't work out, we wouldn't want them.
Exactly.
I mean, this looks to be the very same form.
It's very good.
It's the same one we had before.
All right, and I think that was printable from the website.
Yeah, I think it was.
In the ad that we're going to post, are we going to put all this information on there, or are we going to just say poll
Just
workers?
poll workers
should
needed.
Contact the website,
Yeah.
provide the website.
Or call the office,
Or
whatever.
her,
Right,
yeah.
or call it ours.
And we'll just have to figure out how many we need for May, how many we need for August, how many we need for, that'll be at a later time, though, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you'll know pretty sure in that first one about how many,
Yeah.
that you're not gonna need as many.
Right.
Yeah.
Have there been any glitches has there been any objections for anybody answering any of these questions?
Not in the past, there
Not in
wasn't.
the past?
Mm-mm. No, we were able to, get quite a few people to work.
Right.
And two, as y'all know, with it being like the Republican primary, we have to know if they're willing to work the Republican primary.
And you gotta be sure they're not related to anyone running and all that kind of stuff.
Right,
Question number 6 is always that sticky one. Which
Right.
political party we represent?
right.
Has that been coming back blank, or does somebody always declare one way or another?
We've had some too, most of the time they mark it, or they mark other, which,
Means independent.
yeah,
Or I don't want to tell.
I don't wanna say,
tell.
okay.
But when we go to choosing an equal number to balance out, we're going to need some guidance as
I think, is that where we go to our voting records?
we can get
if
that.
there's doubt, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Well, we don't have to have that in the Republican primary, do we? We don't have to have equal, do we have to have equal number of Democrats and Republicans?
It's supposed to be Republican.
Yeah, that's what I thought, we won't have. Well, what if you have Democrats that want to work, that have always
It's
worked?
left up to the 3 of them here.
You know, we've got people, precinct workers that we pretty much depend on.
And to be
I don't
honest with you,
know
I don't
what
think
party
you-
they are.
I don't think you won't have anybody running the Republican primary anyway.
The only ones that are
There's judges.
Judicial, that's true.
Yeah, we've got that, but that'll be left up to the 3 of them,
Who would pick?
Well, I'm just saying.
They decide who.
It comes down to the fact that if somebody has been working that is a Democrat, but is wanting to work, it's left up to y'all three.
So Corey, if you don't let them work, I'm telling you, and they're mine, I'm gonna say call Corey.
Stir that pot, stir that
Call
pot.
Matt, call Mike.
Write it out.
That's what you do. We know one out in one area
I
that would
don't
be really
think-
mad if
You
you
know
don't
what,
get
I
work.
don't think that, I mean.
I
don't think that's an issue.
I don't think it's going
I know, everybody's aggravated.
Okay, the next thing is working on our calendar, our meeting calendar.
Yes, We have that, Dorinda sent that out to us a week or so, last week about the legislative breakfast on January, or
February the 11th,
February the 11th. No, it's February 12th.
11th.
Is it the 11th we meet on the 10th?
Uh-huh.
Okay. We're scheduled to meet on February 10th. If y'all don't have any objections, I'd like to move that, or I consider a motion to move that meeting to the 17th, the following Monday. Just because what it's going to do is if we're going to go down there on the 10th, we would be at this meeting and then have to drive to Nashville, you know.
You would spend the night?
Except the office will be closed for President's Day, I know.
It's at Sheraton.
The office is closed,
Okay.
but y'all can still have y'all's meeting.
Plus the offices. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
You wouldn't mind
Offices.
coming in for that?
No, I mean, that's, if y'all schedule y'all's meeting, then that's fine.
Does anybody have any objections to the 17th? Because it is, the meeting is at this, Splain.
The meeting is at the Sheraton on the 11th, the breakfast, legislative breakfast, from 7:30 to 9:30.
This just, and Dorinda was going, and I had planned on going, but it just keeps him from having to leave this meeting at 6 o'clock, drive to Nashville in the dark. So if anybody don't object, then moving that to our next meeting to the 17th. Jackie, you might-
I like that motion.
All right, second.
I'll say.
Any opposed, or all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so that was moved
Okay,
to the 17th.
right.
Same time, same place. You'll just have to add that in paper.
Yes.
All right, any other thing on this?
All right, April the 18th is Good Friday. That is also a early voting day for the May primary. The only reason why I'm bringing it up is the fact, usually that is a holiday that is,
For state workers.
yeah. So, I mean, y'all can leave, see, y'all are the ones who vote on the dates and times and everything.
Well,
Y'all
we're
can
supposed
leave
to,
it,
so many days.
right. Y'all can leave it and us finish up and then close after everything, or we can work that day and then use that day as being another day off somewhere else,
Like on the following month or something.
whatever. Well, no, because it depends on.
There'll be an
how
early
far-
voting, it's
Yeah, we
gonna
have
work.
to
Or just have like,
Be a,
could we do Tuesday, Tuesday, something, and Thursday, and not do it all on Friday?
No. See, early voting is 14 days.
That's right, it's all in a row, it's consecutive.
Yeah, we
I see
can't
what you're
do
saying.
that.
I see what you're saying.
well, we could just give them another day off later.
That's
Right,
fine.
that's what I'm-
I ain't gonna
Look
problem.
at come from this angle, it being a holiday, is that gonna avail more people the opportunity to use that time to vote?
Probably.
Or we
Probably
should?
would.
We might ought to extend the hours a little that day, or.
And then just give you a day off somewhere else. I'm
Yeah.
totally fine with that. May I hear that motion?
I like that motion.
Second.
I'll second that
Any, all right, all those in favor say aye.
motion.
Any opposed? All right, so carried.
So
If
what
we
would
don't
be
make a
the hours?
motion, somebody will play.
Y'all would have to set those
We didn't even
later.
set the hours yet.
Yeah, y'all have-
But were we gonna extend it, or just, we're just talking right now?
We're just
Just
talking about
talking.
just changing the date.
All right, and then May 12th is supposed to be the meeting night, but I think we need to change it to May 19th.
When we certify the election.
Yes,
All right, I hear that, I hear a motion to move it.
I make motion.
Second.
I'll second it.
All right, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed? So carried. All right.
okay, same with August the 11th. Change it to the 18th for certification of the August.
Hear a motion for that.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
A second.
All right.
I don't
All those in
know,
favor say
second
aye.
or something.
Any opposed? So carried.
And November the 10th, change it to November the 17th for the same
Well,
reason.
just have one motion.
Okay. Sorry, we should have.
Yeah,
Motion,
I'll make the motion.
second.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed?
Okay, the only other thing that I have is just, I sent y'all an email about the June Cocktail meeting, just a reminder. So if that's something that y'all are interested, so I can go ahead and get rooms reserved because they're going fast.
Where is it this time?
Opry Lane Hotel.
Oh, no wonder. Okay. And what's the dates for
June
that?
1st through the 4th.
It'll be 4 days.
Well, it'd be
Sunday,
Sunday
Monday,
night.
and Tuesday, and then everything finishes out on Wednesday.
And we'll go to breakfast Wednesday morning and cut out.
You mark me down as a likely yes.
Okay?
I have to yes to. I'm planning on it.
So you may go ahead and get your room.
Okay, you will. Come
Or let your room.
This Saturday.
I don't know, I can go in. I have to look at my.
A little far, isn't it? Well, you
Yeah.
come back.
Just let me know.
Okay.
That's all I've done.
All right, we've already done most of the number 7 upcoming 24 election primaries. That was just what do we need to do, and we pretty much just covered all that. So does anybody got anything else for that one? All right, then I ain't either. We already took the picture, so we're down to other business, open discussion. Anybody got anything?
I've got a matter that may become an issue, but we need to address it as quick as we can. In the fact, we've got a ongoing sheriff's election this year, and with Rachel working in the office as a
Rachel
staff.
won't be there.
Is that something she decided to do?
No, I did. They
Oh,
got
okay, so you
hired.
take, okay, what, could you just kind of bring us up to date what you?
She does not handle the petitions for sheriff or anything anyway. She don't handle any of the petitions. I'm handling all them,
Okay.
the majority of them, unless it's road commission or commissioner. But she will not be working during the sheriff's race. She will be taking her vacation.
Is she fine with that?
Yep,
Because
she was fine with that the day I hired her.
Nashville, okay, Nashville doesn't have a problem with working in the office,
Nope.
she just has to have segregated
Exactly.
duties.
I
You
talked
have
to
it
them.
completely out.
Is that
She's
gonna
fine.
be okay with you? I mean, about the workload?
I've done it before.
Well, basically, you have, yeah.
If you need help, all right.
So what,
Y'all will be there election night.
Yeah, we'll be there, right?
when is she gonna start this time off? And when is she gonna end it?
See, she'll be there during the early voting.
Yeah,
She'll
because
have
early
to.
voting, she'll be just handling the office.
She won't be doing
Late.
anything, would
Good
she?
save.
Because they go in that open room and
No, she-
register and do all that, and
And
she would.
she will handle the office while I'm making sure early voting is going with the ones that we got working. She will not be there election day.
Yeah,
But
Well-
I knew, I'd already checked with the state about it, and, they told me that she was okay to be there. But me and her had discussed that before, the day I talked to her about hiring her.
I think one time I worked
Yes.
when Harold was running for something, but I just wasn't in on the absentees or anything
Right,
like
and I do
that.
know that Lynn worked when Dale ran for
Yeah.
county executive.
And I
Well,
wasn't,
that's different times, different folks.
But I'm just saying,
We want as much transparency, yeah, so I appreciate y'all giving it that deep.
that was done
consideration.
before what she
I don't think
took
we
the
ever
job.
had a question about it, except maybe asking back then if we needed, what we needed to do.
But what's her dates, do you have her dates locked down already here in front of you, what date she's gonna be off?
No, I haven't locked.
Will
it.
she be gone like, I guess Monday before, or, you don't know?
We haven't locked it down, but it's in her agreement. She's
Yeah.
got she's gonna take her vacations for that.
And we just need to be clear too, as a commission, as far as duties, candidates coming in requesting petitions or calling in with any complaints or whatever, you two are gonna have to be diligent in segregating those.
They're all coming to me anyway.
Okay.
Because the
Good.
last time we had a complaint that Daryl was up there putting his sign within so many feet of Short Mountain, and we went up there and he wasn't.
Actually, we also had a call
I
that
did
Daryl was,
pictures, yeah, there were no,
I mean,
and
he
also
wasn't.
that Daryl was
Somebody
handing
just called
cards out
and,
at the front door and he wasn't.
yeah, we had several calls that Daryl was up there doing stuff that he was not doing.
Yeah,
Because you
what I
was
mean.
there at one time, and Sue, and Louise was there at one time, so.
we'll all need
yeah.
to be diligent on the front end of it before something is.
First thing was done.
Well, that's good that you handled that like that, and that's good that she's not gonna, it's probably with joy in implication.
Anything in that?
And she had no problem when I asked her.
I'm sure she would. Okay.
Another question. When candidates call to get, or candidates or voters, citizens call to get a copy of the voter records,
gotta be used for political purposes.
Right. Do you have, is that information on the website to advise the citizens how that information is obtainable and the process to do it?
You mean a voting list or?
Okay.
I'd have to look again on that one, on that question. You're talking about the form and everything they have to fill out?
Right.
I'd have to look and see.
I would like to make a motion for clarification for everybody that that information be put on the website and the form be available as well, so that everybody requesting that information is asked the very same set of questions and no different questions. That whatever the law requires us to ask before that's given, whatever the law requires us to direct to them to be used for such and such purposes only, that be clearly illustrated on the website link that's got this information, so that everybody knows up front they're being told the same thing. I'll make that as a motion.
Well, would you re-say that motion?
Okay, yes. My motion is to ensure that on our website that we make notice and a link to notify citizens and voters that the voter list can be obtained by filling out the requisite form, and that the following questions and the following directions will be asked of each submitting party. So if there's 10 questions we have to by law ask, those are illustrated.
It is used for political purposes. If they caught not using it, it is a Class B
Right,
misdemeanor.
that disclaimer needs to be on there as well. So we cover our bases.
You gonna put their social security number up there?
No, sir.
You have to do that on the,
Well, you know, that's what I wanna know first.
yeah. Hopefully guys put that on.
You wasn't
Just
sure
your
up
credit
there,
card.
would you?
Just your credit card.
Oh, please put your credit card.
No, I ain't got one, I'm farther than that.
No, it's working.
Oh, okay.
I just marked it. Scribbling I was doing about that motion.
All right, so did you get that book he just made in a motion?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, I'll go ahead. All right, got a motion and a second, so, any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried.
We don't discriminate in any way.
Exactly right.
Anything else? Any other business?
All right, questions from our audience? Yes, Jim.
I'm not sure I have any questions or not. I'm kind of interested in the discussion that you had, because I've been having involvement in today, in much of your latter part of your discussion. One, I got a CD with the voter registration information on it. They don't get your social security number. So,
You both with them that way.
well, that brings up the reason that I've even brought it up is that I've gotten this CD before in the past, and essentially the timeline and everything, what took place with me, I called Thursday and spoke to Rachel about getting a CD, and asked her when I could pick it up. She said she was busy and couldn't get it until Monday, and so I said, that's fine. I called this morning to make sure that it was ready, and I spoke to Dorinda. And got the third degree as to what I was going to use it for. I don't have a problem with that, except for I thought that she went a little bit overboard. She asked me if I was a candidate. And I said, there's no reason for you to ask me if I'm a candidate. I said, I realize that I can only use it for political purposes, and I'm willing to sign the affidavit for that. She said, well, are you supporting somebody? And
Yes, I
again,
did ask, because I want to make sure that we're covered by him taking something, because I already knew he wasn't a candidate.
and I'm not,
And
I don't want
request
to,
the list and use it for campaign purposes.
I don't think, and I'm not beating up on her for it, I just want to make it perfectly clear that that's not what the law requires. I don't have to disclose that. All I have to do is sign an affidavit, I will use it for political purposes only, and I was willing to do that. And finally, we disengaged the phone call with, I'm sure with that agreement between Dorinda and I, and that was fine with that. Going back to the other part of the discussion that Matt brought up, was that when I came down to pick it up, I went in and I parked, and as I was walking in, I noticed a and I'm assuming at this point it was Rachel's vehicle that has a license plate on it that said the figure 8 and then sheriff. I've never seen one of those ever. And it was a matter of curiosity to me, and I thought, and I saw it and I went in. In fact, actually it looked so odd because the 8 was so big and the sheriff was so little. And I know that Rachel does graphics. I thought, well, maybe she made it up. I said, no, she can't. That's on the rear plate, and it's got the stickers, so it's just a really an unusual plate, and I paid notice to it. So I went in, and I got my CD, and I came back out, and was sitting in my car. It was slightly drizzling. And I said, well, I'm going to take a picture of that license plate and go down and ask Brian Smith about it. Exactly what kind of plate it was. So I took a picture of it, rolled up my window, started my car, and then I could hear somebody screaming at me. I turned around and it was Rachel. And she was, I'm not sure exactly what she was yelling at me, but it was along the lines that her husband is the candidate for sheriff and not her, and to leave her and her kids alone. She was yelling, you can't take pictures, or don't take pictures, or something along those lines, and that I wasn't to be, leave her and her children alone. And I don't know what to say, except for I shouldn't have been exposed to that going to the election office, regardless of what I did.
Sounds like a personal thing between you and Rachel to me. I mean, I don't, she's not here to say.
I would agree with you, except for one thing. Okay, it obviously is a personal thing between Rachel and I. I mean, it's very obvious. I mean, I can't understand why she would come out and come unglued the way she did unless it was downright personal. But the point is very important that she was out there telling me about her husband's campaign and that it was he and me, not her and her children. All I was doing was taking a picture of her license plate, which I have every right to do. But that wasn't the end of it. The reason I even came down to this meeting, I came out tonight without adult supervision for another meeting. I happened to go visit a friend that works up at the high school and was informed. And I was over there, what, about 3:30?
It was up closer to 4.
Okay, closer to 4. Before the people at the high school left the grounds, that information had traveled, that incident occurred, from the election office, and Dorinda was there, so she saw what happened, or at least she knows what probably took place when Rachel came back in the office. But that information was transferred from that election office to a deputy sheriff that communicated it to somebody up at the high school before high school was out. Now you tell me how personal and how political that is or isn't.
High school is out at 2:45. So, I mean, I don't know why anybody was...
Well, why is she even watching me when I left the election office? The windows are on the opposite side of the
Well,
building.
you've got the option that you can make her picture of her license plate if you want to. Well, she can watch out the window and see you leave if she wants
I
to.
understand that. I'm good with that.
Something more than just watching and observing. There was some verbal
I
exchange.
mean, but obviously she came across the building to watch me for whatever reason, and I'm with you, Sue. That's her privilege.
When you got your disc, did you speak with her, or was it all?
I didn't speak to Rachel at all. I got the disc
through the rhythm.
Well, I don't know what the problem is. The first I heard of it.
I don't know what the problem is either. I would like to know. And if I think it's very obvious that over the years, Darrell Young and I have not necessarily met eye to eye politically, and that's fine. But it shouldn't. I'm not sure I'm comfortable with his wife working in the election commission office to begin with, and this just adds fuel to my fire that it's not right. She doesn't belong down there.
And why? Because she's Daryl's wife?
Sue, when a person comes out of the parking lot and starts screaming at somebody that's doing something that they have every right to do, And she didn't just come out there and say, hey, leave me alone, leave my license plate alone. She came out and went on a tirade about her husband running for sheriff and to leave her and her children out of it, which, you know, I don't know what taking the picture of her license plate had anything, you know, and I wasn't, you know, the reason I was taking it was totally for a different reason anyway. But the point I'm trying to make is that obviously she has a political opinion and she's expressing it down at the election office, at least she did to me today. So
I think it would be unfair probably to ask Dorinda to speak for her, so I'm not gonna go
I
that
do
route
too.
unless it's something.
Nope, I'm not speaking.
So but what I do suggest is this as a commission, is that we should address this matter with her face to face, and find out what may have precipitated this, or whether whether her version matches this, or whether there's a dispute. And as commissioners, we need to make sure that
Everybody's treated fairly, yeah.
of all of us, Dorinda.
For me, that's where we start, begin, and end. We have one job, and that's to make sure everybody's treated fairly.
Right.
The personal stuff between you and her is between you and her, it's between you and Darrell and her. I don't want no part of it, and I don't think this commission
Well,
knows.
I don't disagree with that whatsoever, Corey. But the fact of the matter is that if I walk into that election commission for whatever business, whatever, you know, and I didn't realize if I, frankly, if I thought that I was offending her by taking a picture of that, I probably wouldn't have. It was purely innocent because what I wanted to do is I was say, this is a weird license plate, I was going to take it over to Bobby Smith, which I did.
I understand, and I really do get what you're saying. I don't want you or anybody to ever feel like that she is using her role in that office as something other than what it is, simply that role. But I'll be honest with you, if I thought for 1 second that Rachel had anything ethically wrong with her being in that role and Darrell being the sheriff, I would say something right now. But I don't think that. And I don't think that because I've never heard her say that. I've never been led to believe that. Let me put it that way.
Well, I hope you're correct, and I had no reason to complain. My circumstances today is really unusual because, like I said, I didn't necessarily agree with what Dorinda asked me this morning when I was asking about the CD. And then couple that with the behavior of Rachel this afternoon.
I can understand
Add that
That's
on to the fact that whatever took place between her and I, which was her coming out and shouting at me, went from one side of town to the other side of town in less than an hour. You know, something's not right with this picture. I mean, and I think it's worthy of you guys.
I'm all for sitting with Rachel and asking her side of the story, but at the end of the day, what do you need us to do? Because, I mean, are you asking us to do something?
At this point, no. I just heard the discussion. I came in here to sit and listen and watch, and I heard the discussion.
I don't mind talking to her, and I don't mind reminding her that, hey, look, you know, she has to keep her personal feelings out of it as much as possible, because it's all about being fair, and all about being ethical, and all about treating everybody with respect, regardless of what race they're in or not in. But I mean, at the end of the day, this sounds really, really personal between all of y'all, and I don't.
Well, you know, and I think it is. It's not personal on my part.
I understand. For whatever reason, it's a personal issue.
Well, I can see what the reason why it would be personal.
Gotcha.
I mean, you know, if
And to be honest with you, I mean, I'm gonna play a little devil's advocate. If somebody was taking a picture of my wife's car, I'd probably
Wonder what he's
wonder
doing.
what was going on
Yeah.
too. Not saying that what you did was wrong, because I've taken pictures of people's cars going down the road before and think that was something really
Well,
funny.
there's two thoughts of that. One is that you know, Darrell Young isn't the only law enforcement officer in Cannon County.
I got you.
Okay, you know, and whether he wants to acknowledge that constables have law enforcement powers is neither here nor there. I saw a strange license plate that I've never saw before.
And that's
It was
fine.
pretty, I mean, some of the things,
I don't knock
it doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize that the car probably belonged to one of the Youngs. I mean, it's got sheriff on it, you can't count.
Right. Mm.
So, I mean, you know, I'm not totally brain dead, but it was a curiosity more than anything else.
And I respect that, and maybe that's the part she didn't understand.
Well, the two things that trouble me is, one is that when I walked out of that office, Rachel was sitting across from your desk talking on the phone. And you got up from your desk and come and handled our business. I walked out of the office, walked immediately to my car, took the picture, started my car, and the next thing I know, Rachel was out there. I'm kind of curious, and you may know the answer. Why did she walk over and start watching me? I mean, I'm just curious. Why?
That's between y'all two.
You know,
Well, my position on that, and I'm not trying to make a decision per se, but based on the complaint or the issue that Jim just shared, we can't just dismiss it as a personal matter between the two. We need to, it got in a professional matter.
Agreed,
as well.
and that's why I say I'm more than happy to sit down with Rachel.
Right, I believe we as a commission need to flesh this out and find out from her what her side of the occasion was, the story was. And if it lines up with what Jim's just described to us, then we need to remind her that there's a professional line that's expected of her as an employee.
Absolutely, I don't have any objections to remind her of that, because I need reminded of that from time to time, to be honest with you.
you know, if I could just add, you know, I don't need you guys to do my bidding. I mean,
No. But that you're a citizen,
Whether
you
you
wait
Rachel or
out.
be the sheriff, if I've got an issue, I'll handle it myself. But for your own, you know, what you're talking about her taking vacation, her being an arm's length, a person has to be able to go into that office. And I'm not easily intimidated by anybody, but someone needs, if they're interested in our political process, they need to be able to go into that office and not feel intimidated.
Absolutely.
Whether they're running for sheriff, county commissioner, or what have you.
Well, I agree.
And I would have, if I would have been somebody that would, that what took place today could have been very intimidating to me if I'm not very intimidable, but I could have, you know.
I understand, and that's a point we'll definitely convey to her, is that, you know, everything is professional no matter what. No matter who, no matter what politics you've got involved, no matter what party, nothing. You know, it's all professional.
That's exactly, and it's interesting that came up, that's exactly the discussions, arguments, and containment we need to deal with to make sure that nothing in the future from this point on occurs in that manner.
Correct.
You know, that she's got her husband running in this election. We need to have.
And that can be a very touchy thing.
Right.
Yeah, I understand.
Really, that's going to put a lot on your shoulders to help when a complaint comes in or something. But in any way, shape, or form is related to the sheriff's position contest in any way, shape, or
Oh,
form.
I've already been taking it.
Right. It sounds like you and her have already been discussing that.
No, I've
so-
been taking it
Okay.
before, so.
I know it sounded really jorky at this point, and maybe I'll say it in a halfway joking manner, maybe when they have early voting, and she's out there, even if she's not working well, maybe she'll have to park the car with
She
sheriff
can't have it parked there
someplace
anyway.
else. Pardon?
She can't have it parked there
She's
anyway.
not supposed to have it within so many feet when we're having voting
100
or,
feet.
yeah.
And we do mark that out.
And we do enforce that.
Yep.
All right, I'll be with you that.
Well, thank you,
Hey, that-
appreciate you bringing it.
That's a valid concern, that we need to insulate the citizens from that kind of conduct. We owe it to Rachel to hear her version of it as well. But I don't think we need to dismiss it as just a personal matter, because
No,
it took place regarding election business and election matters.
I don't mean it like that, from the standpoint of where she came out and that type of thing, if that truly happened, as you're saying, that's definitely something we need to take care of. The rest of it is a personal matter that y'all
I think
can
you're
take care of.
saying there's some kind of personal thing there.
Correct, whatever that
anyway,
is out of our hands.
Oh,
And we can't handle that.
Well, I understand that, and it's, I don't have a problem with it. I experienced that earlier. Representative Pody was doing a dinner to honor first responders. And, I realize you create political baggage. Darrell Young and I don't necessarily, we don't dine together. And when I was simply trying to get the names of the deputies for Representative Pody, it was so difficult for him to deal with me he couldn't. I asked him for a list, and he just all but refused to give it to me, and that's personal. But, you know, I can get along with that, but what took place today shouldn't have happened.
I'll make a motion that we as a commission speak directly to Rachel, give her story as to what happened.
Who's gonna do it?
She'll have to come at the next commission meeting. I'll request that the motion will be that she attend the next commission meeting. And
It's
have
going to seem like we're attacking her. I don't want to.
No, yeah,
feel that
no.
way.
Yeah, so we.
But we've got to do it in an open setting.
Agree.
But based on what I've heard, I think we owe it to every citizen when this kind of an issue or complaint come up, to flesh it out and find out exactly what violations or what misconduct may or may not have occurred, if we deem that some has.
Could I just offer a suggestion? And-
Sure.
And I'm not sure that Rachel needs to be drug back in here for this. Dorinda, she works for Dorinda, and Dorinda already seemed to be having a pretty good handle on making sure that a conflict doesn't exist. So I think that my coming in here and saying something about it is probably good for us all, good for Dorinda, because, you know, Dorinda also needs to be aware that you don't cross a line. And I think that, you know, if you want to bring her in, that's
If that meets your expectations.
I was giving you the information. I wasn't complaining.
So are you okay with
I'm
Dorinda
fine.
handling it
You know,
internally?
I'll tell you what I did when she said stop taking the pictures and leave me alone. I turned around and took her picture. So
No.
I handled it already.
Did that escalate or de-escalate?
No, she took off.
Okay.
I got a picture of
But
her
are
back.
you expecting a report or a
I don't want
final
anything.
summary from us as to what? Okay.
So are you-
I thought-
just for the record-
I almost wish I could reel this fish back in and
Well,
not take up all your time with it.
So just for the record, are you okay with Dorinda handling this
I'm
internally?
fine. No, I'm
All
good.
right, okay, that's fine. And if
I'll withdraw
any of you want to talk to Rachel,
You didn't finish it
I
anyway.
sense that there was an expectation that we consider it more than a personal matter, but based on what you just shared,
Yeah,
if any of y'all want to talk to her personally, I think that's more than fine. And you can just do that on a, as, you want to basis. We do.
Okay.
All right, any other business? All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
So carried.
Oh. No, I haven't. But it's not a Democrat.
You can stay right.
No, I think I'll stay. I'm not going to